In this episode, we set up a garden cloche to automate sunflowers for the sunrise ritual, which we set up using integrated dynamics in a clean way, so you can't even tell that it is automated. But mostly we just blabber. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to get started with automating the tablet of sunrise from Ars Nouveau. I think that's what it's called, right? Sunrise? Yeah, tablet of sunrise, the ritual for that. And what this does is every time it turns nighttime, we're going to automate it so it skips the night and quickly becomes morning. That way, our machines that rely on the sun, like the very annoying mechanism ones, these things, the solar neutron activators, will continue to function and we won't have downtime. It's fine for these guys because we don't really need polonium like that. But today we're going to be setting up the fusion reactor and we need a constant flow of DT fuel so that thing doesn't turn off. So in order to automate, or in order to make that happen, we need it to be daytime all the time. So these solar neutron activators with lithium in them can work. If you missed last episode, we set up DT fuel production, and I should have a little bit, 35,000 buckets saved up, so it's quite a bit. And we did our little trick with camel, so even though that is covered, it is still allowing sun to come through because it's a piece of glass, and it's just disguised as that. Why is this stopped? Is it because it's nighttime? It's nighttime. That's why. So to remedy that situation, we're gonna automate the tablet thing, but I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. The reason why is, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm a little bit OCD, I guess, self-diagnosed. I like everything to be nice and clean, and I don't like cables showing all over the place, and I don't like big bulky setups. That's why I like build the way that I do, and I think a lot of you guys appreciate that too. So all of the setups I saw for automating the sunrise ritual was so bulky and atrocious looking that I didn't want to do it. So I kind of took some inspiration with somebody from the Discord, but I'm doing it a little bit differently than he is. But I'm going to show you how to do that. But before we can get into any of that, you'll see that these rituals require blazing archwood log, which is easy. We can just put one in our lumber bees and they'll make it. But we also need sunflowers or dandelions, and there's no way to, like, the only machine you can put them in is the garden cloche. So as you see, you can actually grow sunflowers in the hydroponic bed, but the drops don't go inside of the machine. They get dropped into the world. So you can see it's coming into my inventory. And you can't train a simulation processor on it because it doesn't register it as like actually growing the thing. You just get more dropped into the world, which we could do by putting one here, and then we can put like an item collector on here to collect them. But I don't really love that idea just because I don't love setups that require things to fall into the world and for you to pick up using magnets or whatever. So anyways, you can't put it in hydroponic beds and any of that. So the only way to really automate it is to put it either in a garden cloche or grow it in world using like a spell turret with Ars Nouveau, and then do a grow spell on it. That is actually really fast and it works really well. We could set it up. It'll be very similar if you guys follow my No Bees playthrough. It'll be very similar to the tree farm, how that was set up. But on this playthrough, we haven't really done anything with ours. So I don't even have a spell book and I don't have any of those things set up. So kind of don't want to mess with that. I also haven't done anything with Immersive yet. And in order to set up a garden cloche, we will need to do some things with Immersive, which I also don't like. I don't like Immersive. We're getting to the point in the playthrough where I've done all the things that I think are fun, and then everything else kind of seems like a drag. That's why these episodes are kind of harder to make. Whereas the Nobies one, everything is like exciting, and I can like sit down and record 8 episodes in a row, and then be like, oh, I need to stop and like edit these, otherwise bad things will happen. But anyways, I digress. So let's set up the archwood log thing first. What are we trying to make? Sunrise, blazing archwood. Do I seriously not have any blazing archwood? Is that the one that's in here that we're using? Oh, we're using that to generate source. We will remedy that situation. We'll change our source setup to using lava. So let's take care of that really quickly. In here, instead of using the blazing archwood, we're gonna hold lava. And we want buckets of lava. Okay. So I wonder if we do it that way, should we just do it like this? We could make a canner, or we could do it like our Nobies and put the Ender IO tank. That'll fill them up. But let's try this. I'm going to change. Oop. I am going to change this code. Let's turn that off. So right here. So we're going to input lava bucket, and we're going to output retain 1 to each pedestal. So that will put it there, and then we just generated source. And what we're going to do, whoa, did that pick up? Oh no, there was more in our system. And then we're going to add a forget, and then we're going to input the bucket from pedestal and output that back to the interface. So that will cycle, the new ones will go in, and we will run out of buckets of lava. And then we just set a crafting card and put a requester to keep a number of those. So, all right. Now the next item, well, since now that is remedied, now we should have blazing archwood logs. So that will be building up. Now we need to get the flowers, and I am going to, was it sunflower or the sunrise tablet? So we can either do this one, but why when it requires more things? So we'll do the sunflower one, and in order to get I don't have any sunflowers. So let's grab a pearl, and we're gonna go into the bumble zone. And let's look for a structure compass, and we'll go to the hanging gardens, or explorer's compass, I'm sorry. We are looking for sunflowers. And we'll grab a few just in case. And let's go back home. So now we have the sunflowers also, and I guess we are going to set up a garden cloche. So step number 1 with Immersive, we need that workbench, engineer's workbench. And in order to make the engineer's workbench, we need, I wonder maybe if we can just skip this and go to a village. Because then what else do we need? We need the cloche. Oh, we do need the treated woods anyways. Okay, let's get a coke oven going. This is where it all starts. We'll need 27 more brick. Let's just put it in this corner for now. This will be extremely temporary. This is how you get started with Immersive. And we need a hammer, which we have. Perfect. You right click there and you get a coke oven. And now we take coal and we'll let the coal cook in there. It's going to take a while, so we'll go do other things while this is going. And that's going to create creosote, which we can use to make the treated planks. But while that's going, And you cannot time wand it. I've tried. Let's go try to find a village with a workbench in it. And maybe we can steal that. This is the worst village. I mentioned that in my No Beast series. I upgraded to 4.0 and had a bunch of graphical issues, which made everything look really awful. And I don't want to record like that because you guys would probably yell at me and tell me that it looks ugly. And I can't take rejection like that. So I decided to revert back down to version 3.2, which is what we're running right now. And when I did that, all of my recipes broke. Like nothing, like pressing click or right click or R or U, nothing brought up any crafting recipe. And I can't even play vanilla Minecraft that way, so let alone alt mods 10. So the solution I've been able to find in the meantime is to just reinstall a different instance and copy my world over to here. So that's what we did, but unfortunately all of my settings and stuff reset, and that's why our map also is not discovered, because we are in a new instance. Okay, this place looks much nicer. Please give me a workbench. That's Pneumaticraft, another mod I am not looking forward to. Pneumaticraft is kind of cool. Maybe once we get into that and set up a pressure reaction chamber, we can, or not just a pressure chamber, we can get Fortune 15. Because that is the only way. Oh, look at this giant pickaxe. It's the only way to put Fortune 15 on a pick or whatever. You know, we should, whoa, this is a nice find. We should have just come here, because maybe this will have, so iron component, we don't need the steel. There's an iron mechanical part that I can use. And we do need one of these, the crafting components. It's easy to make, it's just blue dye and iron, but we'll use that one since it's here. And we need to make this incandescent bulb, which requires the component blueprint and then copper, paper, and glass. Aha. Okay. So we take the bulb and we put it in our system. Now we need the pressure treated stuff, and hopefully if we go, oh, let me take this. Oh. We'll take the anvil, all these things. And our giant pickaxe. You want to see it one more time? Look at that. Look at the size of that bad boy. Maybe we'll use this in the next episode. Actually, I was thinking about going to the Twilight Forest. What were we doing? We're going back. Can you guys tell I'm excited today? It's because I figured out a thing. And it's exciting. You'll have to wait to see. Let's pick up a couple of those guys. All right, that one is gonna happen too. And then, so you just put your guy around planks, creosote, and you get this treated stuff, treated wood. Things and such and stuff. Okay, can you not make so much noise? So with that now, we can create this thing and then the garden cloche. And I'm gonna go ruin my aesthetics down here. Can I not place it here? Oh, come on. Oh my God, why are you so tall? You know what? It's already gonna look ugly. Oh, Jesus. It's backwards, it's ugly. Can we spin it? Can we spin it with this thing? Come on, let me spin it. Surely you can spin it with the screwdriver. No? Okay. The hammer. You spin it with a hammer. Oh, I love this game. All right, this guy goes like that. All right, so we need a piece of dirt to go in here, and we need to feed it water. So let's just start a new one. We need to give it power. So we'll also give power to the cloche, and let's see if that works in the null direction or if we're going to need to add a side to it. Nope, it seems to be working. And we put our sunflower in there and also give it water. We will output fluid water to Cloche. That one will say south side. Actually, it's a capital C. There it goes. All right, so now this guy is going to produce sunflowers, and then we pick it up from the cloche on the bottom side, and that should go into our system. So right now we have 3 sunflowers. I guess we cannot pick up from the bottom. So the side that you can pull out from is this one down here, and it won't work if you have an inventory cable connected to the bottom one and you try to pull out from the north side. So you actually have to have another inventory cable attached to this like second block because it's a 3-block machine. And then you need to also label this as the cloche. And by the way, I fixed cloche because it has an E at the end. And then you can pull from there. And that goes into our interface. So we now have sunflowers automated. All right, let's get into automating the tablet of sunrise. So first we need to make the tablets. And we're going to use our things here, and we want to just keep 2, and we can craft 1 at a time. It's fine. And we need a recipe for it. That will be like this. So now there's 1 and there's 2. Okay, so then we need a brazier, and we need those sunrise tablets. And I'm going to use integrated dynamics to do this. This is the key. And do we have logic cables? Let's gather all of the resources for it. I'm going to gather everything we need. Or do you guys want to see how the crafting works for these guys? So let's see what we have. We didn't really use any integrated dynamics, did we? Oh no, we didn't. It was my no bees that we didn't. Okay. So we have some stuff, but we never set up the omnidirectional connector. And we never did the thing with the chorus fruit. So we need a mechanical squeezer, which requires all these guys. And we don't have any mineral, do we? All right, so we're going to do this manually for a little bit. We'll put the drying basin here. That guy will go there. Let's see if we can remember how to do this. So that will fill that guy up. And then we need a block like cobblestone. Over here, and we're going to set armor stands on it. Do I need more? And we need a timer, I believe. And this is going to... All right, something's happening. we can do is that, make another drying basin. And this will be twice as fast. All right, I want to call it good there. All right, so we put the mechanical squeezer down, the drying basin down. Let's give these guys power real quick. And what we need to do is grab some chorus fruit. It is popped chorus fruit. And we'll grab our time wand to speed this along. Oh, we don't need the drawing. We just do that. And let's do another. So that's how you get these logic detectors from integrated dynamics. So the mineral stuff, the crystallized mineral chunks, you put the mineral logs in there. And then for the liquid chorus and the crystallized chorus chunk, you have to do that in the mechanical squeezer. It does not work in the normal squeezer. So you do have to make the mechanical one. But once you have that, you kind of unlock most things in integrated dynamics. So with those guys, we can make these logic detectors now. And that'll unlock the higher tier things for us to use. We are going to need one item interface. We'll need some variable cards. We will need a logic programmer, and let's make it portable. We'll need the world reader. Again, Obsidian problems. I don't know why I'm compressing Obsidian. There's no reason why Obsidian should be compressed. We will need a redstone writer. And we will need a player simulator. And this guy is a little bit more difficult to make. And I lied. We need one other thing, which is this guy, the part enhancement for the offset. And I'll make a wrench just in case. All right, I believe that's everything. And for demonstration purposes, I'm going to make a bunch of these guys. 8 is fine. So for demonstration purposes, I will set this up outside. My idea is to have it inside of the wall here, and we'll have our brazier here going with the fire. I think that'll look cool. And it's nighttime right now. And I will set this up here and explain it to you guys, and then I'll move it in there later because I think it'll be easier to see here. So let's turn on our night vision so you can see clearly. And the nice thing about doing this with integrated dynamics is we can have everything in 2 blocks. So here we will have our brazier, and underneath I'm just going to put a drawer down for demonstration purposes. And this is where we will be storing our sunrise tablets. So the way we're going to set this up is we have our drawer down here, but this could be any block. This is just where we're storing our sunrise rituals. So it doesn't matter what it is. Right now, we're just using a drawer for demonstration purposes. And then above that, we have our ritual brazier. And over here, we're going to connect an item interface to whatever inventory has our sunrise tablets inside of it. Then we connect the logic cable up to here, and we're going to put a redstone writer on the brazier. And then on top, we will put our world reader. And all of these are going to fit in one block, which makes it nice and clean. So our world reader, we need it to detect when it is nighttime. So we put a variable card in here. And now that is set to detect, or it's Boolean, which means it's true or false. And when it's nighttime, it'll turn true. Then we take our player simulator and we put that over there. So what we want to happen is we're going to use our logic programmer, the portable one, but if you have the block version, that works also. We want to filter an item with this guy, and the item is going to be a tablet of sunrise. So this is filtered. You can see that the value is tablet of sunrise. And what we're going to do is in the player simulator, we're going to click our offset, and this allows us to interact with things like putting the offset allows us to interact with this block, even though it's over here. And if you look at your mini map, we're going in this direction, right? That is changing the Z value, and moving in this direction, the Z value is going down. So this is currently targeting this block, and we want to go 1, 2. So we want to go 2 blocks positive, or sorry, 2 blocks in the negative direction on the Z axis. So we take a look at that, and we already clicked our offset upgrade in there. And in the, I forgot already, Z direction, we're going to go -2 and save. So now whatever this is going to do is interacting with the ritual brazier, even though it's over here. So it can do it wirelessly. And then we're going to put our tablet of sunrise, and we wanted to click the tablet of sunrise onto there. And we're going to set this guy, just right click, and we can uncheck all of these other things. So it's just going to right click the tablet over there. And we want to go to the part settings here and increase the tick operations. I'm going to set it to 500 ticks, which is 25 seconds. The reason why you want to do that is because if the ritual is running and it clicks another ritual in there, it's going to cancel the ritual that's running right now. Because as soon as the ritual starts, the brazier can accept another tablet. So you want to add a little bit of a delay as you're clicking it to give enough time for the ritual to finish before the next one is pushed in there. And then this guy is how we're going to activate the ritual. So this guy's going to put the tablets in there, which it should be doing right now. We might be having an issue with fake players. So let me go ahead and enable all fake players. And let's see if this will click the item in there. We need to wait possibly 25 seconds. There it is. So it does look like you need to enable fake players. I don't know how else to go about it. If you're playing on a server, you don't want to just allow all fake players. That's why this one is nice. Which only allows fake players by your player ID. But if you guys know of a way to have that work without turning on all fake players, please let me know in the comment below. But anyways, we'll leave that for now. And then if I figure it out, I'll let you guys know later on. So now all we need to do is activate the ritual when it's nighttime. And the world reader, again, we put this card in here. So it's going to detect when it's nighttime. And all we do is we want to pulse a redstone pulse inside of there when it's night. So we put that guy there, and right now it's daytime. Let's make a hammock. So let's sleep until it is nighttime. So while we're waiting for it to turn into nighttime, it's when you sleep on the hammock, it only takes you to sunset. So you need to wait a little bit more. You can actually facade this to make it even prettier. Oh. It just turned into nighttime, and the ritual is activated. So you can see it's turning into daytime. And I did also change this to 1 minute, 1200 ticks. So we just wait for it to be about 1 minute or however long it is in the middle of the countdown. And it's going to click in another tablet into the brazier. There it goes. Now it's awaiting activation. So if we sleep one more time, and it should be nighttime again soon. There it is. Okay, so this is a great way to automate this ritual with just using basically one block. I mean, all of these things are contained within one block, and even so, you can have it somewhere, like where I'm going to put it in my fireplace, and you can like grab a piece of concrete and facade this guy by combining a facade with any kind of block that you want, and that goes, and it'll cover the whole thing. So you can make it look nice and pretty and neat. There is one small problem caveat with this specific setup. Let's go and remove this and I can kind of talk to you guys about it. The way this is set up is this redstone writer is going to click every time it's night. And when your brazier is awaiting activation, you can't click any more sunrise tablets in there. But if it is currently running, you click in another ritual in it, you can see that it interrupted the process. And this only outputs a redstone pulse when it becomes nighttime, and it doesn't continue clicking it throughout the night. So this only happens every time that Boolean turns to true, which is at the start of the night. So I wonder if you put it onto redstone, it just turns it off because it's like using a lever rather than a pulse. So now this is turned on, and even if you right click, it's not going to do anything. So that doesn't work. And the reason why that happened is because I put in the card back into it. So there is a small chance that this setup can break for one night if the timer set on this guy, the 1200 seconds, which is 1 minute, if that counts down to 0 right at the same time as an active ritual, which takes about 5 seconds. So if it puts in another tablet at the same time as a ritual that's currently running, it'll interrupt it like how I just did it when I put it in there, and then it'll break until the following night. So if you wanted to leave it like this and just have it very small in one space, that will work for most of the time, and it's a rare chance that, you know, this would actually interrupt it. But if you wanted to guarantee it, I did kind of figure out a solution for it, which requires adding one more block to this setup, which was something I was trying to avoid because I wanted to do everything within one block. So I'm actually going to keep it like this when I set it up inside of my house, and that'll be fine. But let me go ahead and show you the other method as well. Okay, and then the other method requires you adding a variable store. So we can put a variable store in here. And this is something where you can just store different variable cards in there, and they'll be visible inside of your network. And I'm not super familiar with integrated dynamics, so there might be a much easier way of doing this, but this is kind of how I figured in the time I've been playing around with this. So we want to basically make a Boolean variable card that switches what items this logic or this player simulator can click into here. And let me just kind of show you, and you'll see how it works. We want to make a choice Boolean, and this Boolean value will be our variable for is night. So basically what this is going to do is if is night is true, that means when it is nighttime, then it is going to, let me grab one more of those, and we'll make two more variable cards for items. One will be the sunrise tablet, and another one will be just whatever block you want to use. Like I can use a grass block for this one, just some other block that you don't have in your network. And then we set up the choice, and we're going to say if it's nighttime, then we're going to use this first thing, but if it's not nighttime, it's going to use the second thing, the second variable card. So when it becomes nighttime, we don't want to click. So we're going to put the grass block in the first one. That means if it's nighttime, it's going to try to click the grass block inside of the brazier, which will do nothing because we don't have a grass block in the system, so nothing's going to happen. But if it's daytime, that's when we want to place in a new ritual, because as soon as it turns to daytime, then we want to use the sunrise tablet. So this is going to give it a choice, and we're going to put this guy inside of our player simulator instead of that. And let's delete this one. And you can see that it says the other variables, all three of these variables don't exist. So in here, we're going to put our Boolean one, which is variable ID 2. And then in our variable store, we can put the grass and the sunrise tablet in there. And now it's working. So let's go ahead and set the tick amount to like 20 ticks, because we don't need to have it be like that anymore. And basically what this is going to do is this rider still works the same way, where as soon as it turns to nighttime, it's going to activate the ritual. But while it's nighttime, so while this ritual is running, this player simulator is going to be trying to insert a grass block in here. But we don't have a grass block in our system, so it can't do anything, so it doesn't do anything. So it can never click anything in here during the nighttime. When it becomes daytime, then it switches and it uses the other variable card that is programmed to the tablet of sunrise. So then as soon as it turns to daytime, it's going to input the sunrise tablet in here, basically guaranteeing that it's not going to ever interrupt the process. So let's go ahead and sleep and see how this setup works. All right, here it goes. So nothing's happening. It's gonna, well, the ritual's happening, but it's not clicking anyone. And as soon as it became daytime, you can see that it put in the next tablet. Okay, so I'm gonna move this guy into our base in my bedroom. And then I'll kind of show you guys that setup. This is kind of what I have. I'm going to keep exploring the setup to try to see if there's a cleaner way of doing it or a more efficient and more bulletproof way of doing it. If you guys have any ideas, I'd love to hear those in the comments below. And if I come up with a better solution, then of course I'll share that with you guys in the future. But let me go ahead and move it in there and I'll show you guys how that's set up. Okay, so here's the setup. I'm just going to make a facade with that brick. And so I did end up putting the variable store in here. And then if we go this way, you can see that there's Fluke's cable that's tying into our potion brewer here, because I have my applied energistic room is right there. And that goes to an interface, and this interface is stocking 2 sunrise tablets in there. So that is how that's set up. Then we facade this guy and then close it off with a brick. So that's how it's going to be. And it'll be, oh, by the way, Miss Sande, I think you've suffered enough. You can be normal again. Hey, long time no see. Anyways, this is how it's going to be set up inside of our bedroom. And every time it's night, this will reset it back to daytime, making sure our solar neutron activators run all the time. So this episode kind of ran longer than I expected. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this setup. But I think I'm going to leave it here. I did want to set up the fusion reactor, but to do that is going to add a lot more time to this episode, and it's going to be too long. So we'll go ahead and revisit that in the next episode. But for today, that's going to be all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.